In at number 10, Janet Jackson. It's very rare that a celebrity in Hollywood is able to keep their relationship, or marriage for that matter, under the radar. However, Janet Jackson has been able to keep her multiple marriages and subsequent divorces all a secret from the tabloids. First, she was married to singer-songwriter Renee Elizondo in 1991, and that union remained under wraps until she filed for divorce in 2000. She then managed to keep her next marriage to billionaire Wissam Almana in 2012 a secret as well. This marriage actually really ended up changing Janet. She moved to London and abandoned her look to opt for a more conservative garb in line with Almana's Muslim religion. The couple wed 2 years after they met, and much to everyone's surprise, the then 50-year-old Janet announced that she was pregnant with son Issa, who was born in January of this year. To even greater surprise, Janet then announced her separation from Almana 4 months later. In at number 9, Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin is typically all about the laugh, so it's really hard to believe her when she's talking about her late brother, a convicted pedophile. The public first learned about her older brother Kenny in her best-selling autobiography My Life on the D-List, and in the book Kathy spoke about growing up with her brother and how she felt a very violent energy whenever he was around. She even admitted to witnessing him beating up his own wife. What's just as disturbing was when Kathy explained how he was sexually inappropriate with her from the time that she was just a little girl. Ultimately, this shaped the way that she perceived the world and herself as she grew up. Kenny Griffin ended up going to prison and eventually passed away. In at number 8, Rose McGowan. Ever since the beginning of the Time's Up and Me Too movement, actress Rose McGowan has been an outspoken force for change. As a result, she's been very open about her own personal secrets involving mental illness and sexual abuse. Growing up, her life was plagued with pain because her parents belonged to a cult called the Children of God. According to Rose, the members believed in free love, and so she was raised in a commune where mistreating women was just normalized. She even cited that men in the cult would regularly mistreat women and force them to act as servants. In at number 7, Holly Madison. Having frequently visited the Playboy Mansion when she was a 20-year-old college student in Los Angeles, the aspiring actress decided to move into the house a year later in 2001. The Oregon native, who was familiar with Playboy and had been a fan, soon became Hugh Hefner's lead girlfriend, and the two appeared to fall madly in love. Over the course of their 7 years together, their untraditional relationship was followed on the E! Channel series called The Girls Next Door. Holly acted as the loyal wife figure alongside co-stars and fellow girlfriends Kendra and Bridget. However, in a bizarre series of events, Holly left the mansion claiming that Hugh had refused to marry her. That being said, this is exactly how Hef wanted things to appear to the general public. In her memoir titled Down the Rabbit Hole, she spoke openly about their relationship and revealed some deep-rooted secrets that Hugh never wanted us to know. Apparently, he knew that she was unhappy and just ignored her. Upon reflecting on it, she said that even though she gave 7 years of her life, the man could barely have a conversation with her. In at number 6, Melissa Joan Hart. Melissa Joan Hart may be a happily married mother of 3, but during her time as Sabrina the Teenage Witch, she partied like every other Hollywood star. In the 1990s, she appeared to be this squeaky clean actor, but that was just an image put forth by executives. In her tell-all book called Melissa Explains It All, she speaks very openly about all of the secret stories that she had to keep under wraps while acting in Hollywood. In one portion of the book, she says that she experimented with weed, ecstasy, mushrooms, and mescaline for about a year and a half. Looks like her broomstick wasn't the only thing that was getting her high. Am I right? Up top. No? Okay. On top of that, she spilled crazy details about making out with a woman in a limo and then heading to a Maxim photo shoot while still high, then revealing that it was her 3rd or 4th time on ecstasy for this photo shoot. Although all this bad behavior, she says, is attributed to the bad crowd that she was hanging around with. I think she claimed also that Paris Hilton once offered her cocaine at a party, but obviously she denied. In at number 5, Daniel Radcliffe. Where does the time go? It feels like only yesterday that we were watching the adventures of Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Although because we were so engulfed in following Daniel Radcliffe bring this character to life, we failed to notice when he grew up. Not only that, but his confession that he had a drinking problem was sadly something that no one wanted to hear about. Thankfully, he beat this in 2010, but the actor himself has revealed that he would show up to the set of Harry Potter still intoxicated from the night before. Daniel said that there were times during his teen years where he felt like he was being watched, and while admitting that most of that may have been in his own head, he still didn't know how to deal with it. During an interview with Off Camera, he said, "In my case, the quickest way to forget about the fact that you're being watched is to get very drunk." In an interview for The Guardian, he said that he turned to alcohol to cope with the pressure of fame and potential failure. And as I mentioned, he has been sober since 2010, but said that his friends played a big role in his recovery. Although he did reveal some pretty crazy stuff about being intoxicated while filming Harry Potter. Daniel said, "I can honestly say I never drank at work on Harry Potter. I went into work still drunk, but I never drank at work. I can point to many scenes where I'm just gone, dead behind the eyes." That really changes that movie series for me. In at number 4, Jackie Chan. There are very few actors in the world that have forsaken their health and safety like Jackie Chan just in order to do their own stunts. As a master of the martial arts, he's put his skills to the test both physically and comedically. Over the course of his illustrious career, he has injured himself countless times but somehow remains unfazed. It's most likely because Jackie grew up in a family of risk takers. His mother, Li Chan, was a drug dealer, and his father actually was a secret agent for the Nationalist Guard. His father ended up fleeing to Hong Kong after Mao took power in 19 1949, and his mother was forced to abandon her first two children due to extreme poverty. Jackie Chan's parents actually met in the most bizarre way possible, a reason for meeting that Jackie would keep quiet for many years. Lily and Charles Chan met when he busted her for drug possession. He ended up taking pity on her and then just letting her go. I mean, what an origin story for this Hollywood superstar. In at number 3, Richard Pryor. More often than not, comedians have very tragic backstories, and that can certainly be said for the legendary comedian Richard Pryor. The actor and comic struggled with addiction throughout his life, he was married 7 times, and even lit himself on fire once. However, his upbringing was even more of a personal struggle. Richard Pryor's mother, Gertrude, was a prostitute who worked out of his grandmother Marie's brothel. When Gertrude abandoned her son when he was only 10 years old, he was left in the hands of his abusive grandmother. Pryor's paternal side also didn't do him any favors. His father, Leroy, was a hustler and a boxer, yet despite his own demons and secrets, Pryor was able to turn his pain into comedy. In at number 2, 50 Cent. A lot of rappers talk about living a gangster lifestyle, but some of them actually do it. 50 Cent might seem egotistical and talk a big game, but the rapper has had a very tough childhood. The rapper, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, was born in Queens, New York, and his mother, Sabrina, was just 15 years old when she gave birth to him. Sabrina ended up turning to drug dealing to feed her son and became one of the most notorious drug dealers in the area. Unfortunately, she was killed in an unexplained fire when Jackson was only 8 years old. Still, he would go on to follow in her footsteps with drug dealing and was even shot 9 times in May of 2000. At the age of 19, an undercover police officer had arrested Jackson for selling 4 vials of cocaine, and then his home was raided 3 weeks later. He was then sentenced to 3 to 9 years, and he went to a boot camp instead to get his GED, but at this time he was already rapping and took on the name 50 Cent, which actually was an original moniker of a Brooklyn crook from the 1980s. Bunch of secrets in there for you that you can read on an autobiography page. Last but certainly not least, our number 1 spot, Keith Richards. Nobody who started their career in the music business in the 1960s, and I mean nobody, has remained untouched by the glorious days of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. This is especially valid for the musicians of the legendary rock bands, most of whom have admitted to having consumed all kinds of substances in their time. But none of those are as bizarre as the one that Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones is said to have sampled. In 2007, a magazine revealed that the 72-year-old guitarist once mixed his father's ashes with cocaine and then snorted him. The veteran of drug marathons was convinced that his father wouldn't have objected at all, and added that he went down pretty well. Many years later, Richards realized that being still alive after decades of drug and alcohol abuse was just pure luck. He also advised that others not follow in his footsteps and definitely abstain from snorting their parents.
So starting off at number 10, we have Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner revealed one of her most regretful secrets in her memoir, Kris Jenner and All Things Kardashian. In the book, she gave details on her affair with Todd Waterman that happened while she was still married to Rob Kardashian. She wrote in her memoir, quote, "We had sex everywhere, all the time. Out of control, crazy, dangerous, wild sex." She admitted to doing it in cars, on the tennis court, in the pool house, and even the garage. Jenner opened up in interviews later that she thinks it was her age that caused her to make the mistake. Since she met Rob at the age of 18, then married him at 22, she was getting bored of their marriage after 10 years of being together. And when she was introduced to Todd, who was 10 years younger than her, she was smitten. Adding that people always think the grass is greener, but she deeply regrets her cheating. And at number 9, Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore has been opening up about her horrible childhood and all the terrible things she did when she was just a preteen. In her book, she revealed that she got into drugs when she was just 10 years old. Writing, quote, "When I was 10 and a half, I was sitting in the back seat of a car driven by a friend's mother. She started smoking pot. I wanted to try it for a long time, but I was afraid if I asked, she'd say, 'No way, Drew, you're too young.' However, she offered me some, and I said, 'Sure, I'll try it.' I was shocked. But she had that look to say, 'Isn't it cute, a little girl getting stoned?' And she also just revealed on an episode of her show with Paris Hilton that she went to behavioral schools when she was younger because she was so out of control, and she was locked in solitary many times. And at number 8, Woody Harrelson. Actor Woody Harrelson has been part of the film industry for decades now, and he's a true Hollywood legend. But while you might never expect him to have some familial skeletons in the closet, he does, and his father was actually a notorious hitman. And he actually committed the first assassination of a judge in the 20th century. But that was not his only one. He also killed a carpet salesman for $1,500 after a deal fell through. Apparently, Harrelson found out about his father's occupation when he was 12 years old. Charles Harrelson passed away in prison in 2009. And at number 7, Rihanna. Rihanna is one of the most successful female musicians of all time. But she's another star with some family issues that she tried to keep a secret. Apparently one day out of the blue, Rihanna discovered that her father, Ronald Fenty, had another secret family. And that meant that Rihanna had 2 sisters and 1 brother that she never knew existed, with all of the 3 siblings having different mothers. Her father was also addicted to alcohol, drugs, and sex. But after some time, it seems that Rihanna has been the bigger person, and they've been able to repair their relationship. And at number 6, Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin is a woman known for making everyone around her laugh. But like with a lot of comedians, Kathy used humor to cope with a lot of the bad she was dealt when she was younger. In her autobiography, My Life on the D-List, she speaks about the trauma she endured because of her brother, Kenny. She wrote that he was inappropriate with her very often, and that led her to have a lot of internal issues. She also claims that when she was around him, she felt a dark and even violent presence. She even spoke further in the book about some things that she witnessed in adulthood, saying that she once saw him hurting his own wife. He eventually went to prison and then ended up passing away, but the bad memories still live with her. Halfway number 5, Mariah Carey. It was revealed that Mariah Carey was suffering from bipolar disorder, but the unfortunate part is that it wasn't Mariah herself that shared it with the world, but rather her sister. Because of her sister's comments, Mariah opened up about her sister and the issues that she has that affects Mariah as well. Mariah's sister Allison claimed that Mariah had been struggling with the disorder for years, but the relationship between the sisters is more than a little strange, and they allegedly hadn't spoken since 1994 at the time. Allison has been arrested multiple times for illegal activities, and she once told undercover cops that she could, quote, give them a sweet, sweet fantasy. Allison also calls out Mariah for not helping her with her medication, since she deals with her own issues and is in need of money to pay for the medication. Because of this, Allison has tried to extort her sister multiple times for money, which I'm sure is incredibly exhausting for Mariah. In at number 4, Lori Loughlin. This is one I'm sure you know of, but some big names in Hollywood were exposed big time when Operation Varsity Blues found that Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman had bribed their child's way into prestigious universities. Loughlin and her husband, fashion guru Massimo Giannulli, were accused of paying $500,000 to get their daughters Olivia J. Giannulli and Bella Giannulli into USC on the crew team, when, as I'm sure that you already know, they never even played the sport. In light of everything, the family lost tons of sponsorship deals, and Loughlin's contract with Hallmark came to an abrupt end. And in the end, Lori was sentenced to 2 months in prison for her crimes. And now the family's reputation will probably never be the same. And at number 3, Demi Moore. Demi Moore spilled everything about her marriage to Ashton Kutcher in her 2019 memoir, Inside Out. And there are things in the book that I'm sure she was reluctant to bring to light again. In the book, she talks about the tumultuous 8-year marriage to Ashton Kutcher, giving details on the fact that they had a threesome because Ashton essentially begged for it. After it happened, Moore was regretful about the situation, but it seemed that Ashton was not, and only made him more distant in the marriage. Writing in her book, quote, because we'd brought in a third party into our relationship, Ashton said that blurred the lines and to some extent justified what he'd done, speaking about the fact that it led to him cheating down the line. But the marriage was over after he admitted to cheating on her with a 21-year-old woman in 2011, adding in an interview that the divorce is the reason she had a relapse with her alcohol addiction. Saying in the Red Table Talk interview, quote, the addiction was in the codependency. My addiction to Ashton was probably almost more devastating than alcohol because it took me seriously away emotionally. And because she had spilled all of these secrets, she was asked why she decided to talk about all this now, with her responding, quote, I think my desire was to really get to a place where I'm okay to really be seen. Adding, quote, when there isn't anything to protect, that's a great spot. And at number 2, Allison Mack. The case of Smallville actor Allison Mack was one of the most shocking and disturbing in recent years. On April 20th of 2018, the actor was arrested in Brooklyn on charges of sex trafficking, along with other similar crimes. Apparently, she was heavily involved in a bad group of people called NXIVM, and apparently she was used to recruit women into the group. And then these victims were later exploited by the group in numerous ways. After a lengthy trial, Mack pled guilty to the charges. However, it's been over a year since she was sentenced and no time has actually been given. So she's been on house arrest in her parents' house this whole time. And at number 1, Meghan Markle. Since Meghan Markle became one of the most famous people on earth basically overnight, a lot has been exposed about her, a lot that I'm sure she wishes didn't. One thing is that her sister said she, quote, is a social climber with a soft spot for gingers. Okay. But one of the biggest secrets about Meghan that people are pretty convinced is true is that she used to author a shady blog about the industry. The blog was called, quote, The Working Actress. And to give you an idea of some of the stuff she wrote about, the blog said it was documenting the ups and downs of a hustling young actress in the cutthroat world of Hollywood. In February 2018, the Daily Mail reported that impeccable sources from California confirmed that Meghan Markle wrote the blog, with an actor named Lance Carter telling Daily Mail, quote, yeah, it was definitely Meghan who wrote it. Then in Andrew Morton's biography, Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, the magazine included The Working Actress in a list of the royals' former jobs. So clearly her more public blog, The Tig, wasn't all she was writing.
In at number 10, Leighton Meester. You'd never be able to tell by how she carries herself today, but this polished celebrity was actually born in a Texas prison while her mother was serving time for drug smuggling. Though her mother was allowed to spend 12 weeks in a halfway house with newborn Leighton, she was soon sent back to jail. Meester ended up living with her grandmother in Florida until her mother was released. At 10, her family moved to New York so that she could begin a career in modeling, only to then pack up again 4 years later and head to Los Angeles. Once in Hollywood, she began auditioning for various roles while taking acting classes, but she found it difficult to relate to kids her age because of her unstable upbringing, an upbringing that she kept hidden for a very long time. Her breakout acting role was when she portrayed Blair Waldorf on Gossip Girl, a character whose mother was the owner of a fashion empire, which, as you can imagine, was a stark contrast from her actual childhood. Today, though, she was worth an estimated $16 million. In at number 9, Selena Gomez. In typical rumor mill fashion, when singer Selena Gomez decided to cancel part of her world tour in 2013, the gossip magazines did all kinds of speculating as to why. They said she was battling a drug and alcohol addiction and listed a plethora of other unconfirmed conspiracies. The real reason that these types of stories kind of bubble up is because of how secretive celebrities are. Although, can we blame them? I'm sure there are some parts of their life that they just want to keep quiet. And it turns out Gomez had been hiding a secret from the world, but it had nothing to do with indulging in addictions. Later on, Selena revealed to Billboard that she had to undergo chemotherapy to treat lupus, a chronic autoimmune disease. She mainly wanted to wait for the right time to talk about it, and when she did, she didn't want to be loud about the whole thing. Selena just wanted to wait so that she could properly use her platform to help spread awareness. In at number 8, Prince. Prince has always been a wild and eccentric character. I mean, in 1993, he literally changed his name to a symbol. If that's not the definition of an enigma, I don't know what is. Although this brilliant musician was hiding a big secret from the world. For his entire life, Prince had been coping with epilepsy, which is a serious medical condition. Although in 2009, he revealed this secret during an interview with PBS. In the interview, Prince told host Tavis Smiley, "I'd never spoken about this before, but I was born epileptic. I used to have seizures when I was young. My mother and father didn't know what to do or how to handle it, but they did the best they could with what little they had." Although Prince said that after a while he was able to keep his condition largely under control. He also noted though that this control over his epilepsy came by way of an angel that spoke to him. In at number 7, Katie Holmes. Just 5 days before Tom Cruise celebrated his 50th birthday, his wife of 5 years, Katie Holmes, filed for divorce in New York. The world was completely shocked by this secret being unearthed. The couple had been spotted together on the set of Oblivion in Iceland just days before, and they were strolling along like nothing was going on. Like, everything's fine, don't look at us. Apparently Holmes orchestrated her escape, if you will, from Cruise very carefully. She set up secret meetings with lawyers and prepared to battle for sole custody of their daughter Shuri. Now, although the details leading up to this was kept secret, if you were watching the tabloids, one could assume that she was using them to shift the public's perspective. Katie Holmes used the sympathies of the tabloids to convince people that she was just this kind of passive wife of Tom Cruise, was a maniac, which is believable, right? The weirdest part was that right after her divorce, she had all of these events set up where there would be people there to photograph her. Normally, following a divorce, you would think that you'd, take some time to yourself, take some time off from work maybe, but nope, she just went right to the cover of the August issue of Elle magazine. In at number 6, Caitlyn Jenner. Back in 1971, Jenner participated in their first decathlon, and by 1972, Jenner was competing in the decathlon at the Munich Olympics. At those Olympics, they finished 10th overall in the event, and in 1976, Jenner went on to win the gold in the decathlon at the Montreal Olympics and was declared by the media to be the world's greatest athlete. Jenner was able to accomplish all of this while living with a deep personal secret that wouldn't be shared with the public for, another 40 years? In 2014, Jenner announced that they were divorcing from longtime wife Kris Jenner, and just a year later, Jenner shocked the world when they revealed that they had undergone gender reassignment surgery. At the age of 65, Caitlyn Jenner introduced herself to the world, and by 2015, ESPN had awarded Jenner the Arthur Ashe Courage Award, and to this day, Caitlyn is one of the most prominent public figures to come out as transgender. In at number 5, Lance Armstrong. Armstrong. In 2012, champion cyclist Lance Armstrong denied that he ever relied on performance-enhancing drugs. He referred to the doping allegations against him as outlandish and heinous. However, when the U.S. anti-doping agency revealed compelling evidence, the cyclist's house of lies began to crumble. The agency released about 1,000 pages of evidence in doping allegations against Armstrong and his teammates. This led to him being stripped of 7 Tour de France titles and bronze Olympic medal, plus his secret forced him to step down as chairman of the Livestrong Foundation. Armstrong would later give a detailed account of his doping to Oprah Winfrey in 2013.
You know, I view this situation as one big lie that I repeated a lot of times.
In at number 4, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The secret that Arnold kept ended up being the bombshell that destroyed his marriage. Just 5 days after Arnold's then wife Maria Shriver gave birth to their 4th son in 1997, the couple's housekeeper, Mildred Patricia Baina, also gave birth to a son by the same action star. He kept this child of his a secret until he completed 2 terms as California's governor in 2011. Then he finally confessed his infidelity to Shriver and later the public. All it took was the media identifying the mystery baby mama, and thus the celebrity scandal had been completed. There have always been celebrities that kept their kids out of the public eye, but nothing in terms of what Arnold was able to pull off by keeping this all a secret for so long. Imagine seeing that kid and be like, this kid looks like Arnold's son. Was that Arnold's son? In at number 3, Charlie Sheen. No one has really been attacked in the press like Charlie Sheen has. Not saying he hasn't earned some of his controversies, but let's just say that there are some very shady people in this world. The notorious actor appeared on NBC's Today Show in 2015 to announce that he was HIV positive. Charlie had been diagnosed with HIV 4 years prior and finally revealed his secret after several people actually tried to blackmail him. Allegedly, there were some people threatening to reveal this secret unless he gave them $10 million.
I'm here to admit that I am in fact HIV positive. And I have to put a stop to this onslaught.
If the timeline is 4 years from this interview, then his diagnosis would have come right as this whole controversy with the show 2.5 Men started. You know, the one where he said in a bunch of interviews that he had tiger blood and Adonis DNA. Like, it's no wonder with that much press on him already that he didn't want to also reveal what could even be perceived as a weakness to his health. In at number 2, Drake. This one was a huge reveal because for so long people were just simply speculating on whether or not Drake was dating someone. So when Pusha T released a track with the line directed at Drake that said, "You are hiding a child, let that boy come home, Adonis is your son," everyone that was watching that feud had this jaw-dropping moment when Drake finally revealed his secret son named Adonis. How did Pusha T know this? Drake would later record a song called Emotionless that explained why he had kept his son hidden from the public. He just didn't want to expose his son to the world that would have had their eyes on his every move. And it's understandable, but I believe it baffled people because it wasn't like he was like happily married to someone. He appeared to just be this rolling stone that was always rumored to be romantically involved with one celebrity or another. Last but certainly not least, on our number 1 spot, Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. Like many celebrities on this list, JT and JB have had an awful time trying to keep their personal lives out of the public eye. One thing that has certainly helped keep a lot of secrets is, well, this pandemic. I mean, if the paparazzi can't come within 6 feet of you and everyone's on lockdown in their homes, the tabloids must be just suffering right now. Although the Daily Mail still found a way to unearth some celebrity secrets when they revealed that Jessica had secretly given birth to a baby boy. The family are thought to be in Big Sky, Montana, where they have been spending time amid the coronavirus pandemic, and both of them have neglected to share any details whatsoever about the pregnancy, so I guess we'll have to check the Daily Mail if you want info on that celebrity secret. In at number 10, unconventional childhood. Growing up, Ellen didn't really have a typical upbringing because her parents full-on believed in Christian Science. They essentially used the word of the Bible as their guide to eternal life, which includes how they take care of people when they're sick. It was a system of belief that caused Ellen a lot of physical and emotional pain in her life. The worst part of her childhood was that her parents actually never took her to see a doctor, nor did they give her any medicine when she was feeling ill. Now, I'm sure most of her fans would accept Ellen's Christian Science past, but others may feel alienated by it, so she keeps it pretty under wraps. As a result of being raised in a Christian Science household, Ellen was never even vaccinated as a child. Another secret she doesn't want you to know about. In at number 9, she's a terrible boss. When the pandemic shut down the world, the wealthy among us had a moral choice to make. If you owned a business, do you then give from what you have to keep your employees paid? In Ellen's case, she had a tight-knit and dedicated crew that outlasted a writer's strike and still stuck by her afterwards. Yet when they needed her help, Ellen and her net worth of $400 million said nope. What's worse is that she hired a non-union crew instead to run her show from home. So you force them not to unionize and then turn around and show them exactly why they should have. The backlash comes after Variety reported that Ellen's staff were given no information and entirely left in the dark after filming for the show stopped in March. Oh, and then she said her mansion felt like jail.
One thing that I've learned from being in quarantine is that people, this is like being in jail.
By the way, that's a $27 million mansion. Feels like jail. In at number 8, not welcome in NYC. When the writer's strike kicked off in 2007, Ellen found herself in a strange situation. Because she also writes for the show, she's a fully paid member of the Writers Guild of America. So when the Writers Guild of America went on a strike that lasted from November 2007 to February 2008, she was forced with a tough decision. Does she support her fellow writers or cross the picket line and go to work? DeGeneres showed her support for the strike, but on November 9, 2007, 9 days into the strike, she revealed that she would be crossing the picket line. The strike is believed to have costed the Los Angeles entertainment industry over $1 billion in revenue. Following Ellen's decision, the show ran as usual, just without the opening monologue. Unfortunately for Ellen, the Writers Guild of America were furious. They even said that she was not welcome in New York City anymore. In at number 7, she has a mean streak. In Kathy Griffin's new book, Celebrity Run-Ins: My A to Z Index, she said, "I'm almost positive a certain beloved daytime talk show host once had me kicked out of a backstage dressing room at the Emmys Awards." She then goes on to say, "I can prove it, but this person who has short blonde hair has a mean streak that all of Hollywood knows about." And I don't think she's talking about James Corden. According to former employees of Ellen's show, this mean streak theory holds up. One insider said, "She's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. She's so nice to celebrities, but Ellen's demands that junior staffers don't speak to her, touch her, or even look at her." Turns out she's just rude to most people when the cameras are turned off. In at number 6, Ellen Not So Generous. In May of 2019, Ellen had country star Blake Shelton on the show and among other questions repeatedly brought up his relationship with Gwen Stefani. She then even gifted him with a large clock of the pair kissing that was supposed to encourage them to get married. The clock being a reminder that time is well ticking. Well, when he came back on the show in December of 2019, and other than him being embarrassed by again Ellen asking more questions about his personal relationship, we found out that he actually never received the clock. And Blake took full advantage of his time on the show to expose Ellen for not actually giving these gifts to her guests, but instead recycling them whenever she wanted. In at number 5, Lies for Good TV. When Dakota Johnson came on the show, we really got to see that Ellen is not afraid to lie if it makes for good television. First and foremost, she said happy belated birthday, then asked how it was because she didn't get an invite, which leads to Dakota calling her out on that lie. I just can't believe that on top of that, she also was rude to her the last time that she was on the show. Why would you want to come back after that? Now, either she's really forgetful or has lied so many times that she just can't keep track of it, because the next part of that interview was confusing to say the least. She then insists that she was never invited and even turns to her producer to clarify that there was no invitation. Her producer then says, "You were invited, but you were out of town at that thing." And then the plot thickens because that thing is coming up next. In at number 4, Fame Over Values. So not only did Ellen lie about not getting a birthday invitation to Dakota Johnson's party, but that thing that she was doing out of town was even tweeted by her. She says, "Yes, that was me at the Cowboys game with George Bush over the weekend." Ellen was then blasted on Twitter for hanging out with former Republican President George W. Bush. Bush was the president for 8 years and fought against gay marriage. He even wanted to make a constitutional amendment in 2004 that would define marriage as a union of a man and a woman. I believe Walker had the best take on this though. He said, "Here's the thing, Ellen. George W. Bush is a war criminal who is responsible for death on a cataclysmic scale. It's not a matter of being friends with people with different beliefs. We all have those friends. It's about having a little perspective on the damage that he's done." Well said. In at number 3, publicity stunts. In a bizarre turn of events, in order to distract from the negative attention that attending a football game with a war criminal brings, Ellen just kissed Howard Stern. While on the show, Stern made note about how under fire she was over the George Bush photo. He then explains that he's on her side and that booking him was a great idea. Howard then suggests that if the pair were to kiss on television, it would switch the focus to them. The really hilarious part about all of this is just how open they are with it. Anyone with a brain can see that she's creating these publicity stunts to drum up controversy and get more name recognition. However, if you were to ask Ellen, she would never admit that it was all just a cover up to hide her mistakes. In at number 2, took money from school kids. In 1984, California voters approved the state lottery with an understanding that 34% of sales revenue would go towards education. However, in December, the company just gave Ellen a ton of scratch tickets to just give away to her audience. In fact, each audience member received a $500 bundle of scratchers tickets from the California state lottery. Now, of course, they both saw this as a publicity boom, but a whistleblower from inside the company is suggesting that it was a misuse of funds. The total face value for these tickets was just over $200,000, and by just giving away these lottery tickets on her show, Ellen and the lottery company should be held responsible for that loss. The weird thing is that they even mentioned how the revenue from the tickets goes towards education in Los Angeles. Then she just turns around and accepts the gift with no money exchanged to the charity. Last but certainly not least, in our number 1 spot, Portia moved out. There have always been rumors that Ellen and Portia's marriage wasn't actually going well, and speculation would rise every time Ellen was seen not wearing her wedding ring. Although once being locked down in quarantine with each other and Ellen coming under attack recently for so many things, Portia has officially moved out. Instead of living in the home that they purchased together in LA when they got married, an insider source said that Portia has been living in Montecito Heights for weeks. The source went on to say Ellen tries to appease her by giving her whatever she wants, like her art company and buying any home Portia falls in love with. However, some time apart will do them good. They love each other so much, so I don't think they're about to give up on their marriage just yet.
And at number 10, Kylie Jenner's baby number 2. Rumors have been going wild for weeks speculating that Kylie might be pregnant again. The most viral theory came from a TikTok who found it odd that Kylie had a very low-key birthday party for her 24th, and although Kylie did have a small party, not one person from that party shared a photo of the birthday girl herself. Even Kylie's family posted throwback pictures to celebrate her birthday. Kylie posted photos of herself from this alleged birthday party in a green outfit. However, in that picture her nails are pink, and on the day of her party they had a green French tip. So clearly they were not taken on the same day. Kylie also looks to be back with Travis Scott again, fueling the rumors even more. Things took new heights when Caitlyn Jenner revealed that she was having another grandchild very soon, with many thinking it was Kylie's. The media is now running with all of this and confirming that Kylie is pregnant with baby number 2. Kylie's not confirmed it, but I guess time will tell with this one. However, all the signs really do add up. And at number 9, Gigi Hadid. Gigi Hadid recently became a mom to Zayn Malik's child, and she decided to keep her pregnancy a secret basically the entire time. However, the surprise was spoiled a little early because of Gigi's birthday party. Eagle-eyed sleuths looked closer at the items and saw some baby-esque gifts for Gigi. After the rumors started swirling like crazy, Gigi went on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon to confirm. She said, quote, "Obviously we wish we could have announced it on our terms, but we're very excited and happy and grateful for everyone's well wishes and support." Jimmy then told her to be present for every moment, and she responded that she's doing her best to enjoy it all, and she's happy to be home to cherish every moment. The baby girl is named Kai Hadid Malik. In at number 8, Amber Heard. Amber Heard shocked the world with the announcement that she welcomed a child via surrogate. Amber is pretty private about her personal life, so many were shocked that she quietly decided to have a child. She announced the birth in an Instagram post, writing, quote, "4 years ago I decided I wanted to have a child. I wanted to do it on my own terms. I now appreciate how radical it is for us women to think about one of the most fundamental parts of our destinies in this way. I hope we arrived at a point in which it's normalized to not want a ring in order to have a crib." Heard added that her daughter was born on April 8th, and her name is Onaya Paige Heard. She then shared a beautiful photo of her sitting with her daughter in the post. And at number 7, Iggy Azalea. Rapper Iggy Azalea keeps her private life very secret and rarely reveals what's going on in her life behind the scenes. This was the case with her pregnancy. She decided to reveal the birth in an impromptu post to Instagram. She broke the news on June 10th of 2020, writing in part, quote, "I have a son. I keep waiting for the right time to say something, but it feels like the more time passes, the more I realize I'm always going to feel anxious to share news that giant with the world. adding that she will be keeping his life private, but she wants everyone to know that she loves him beyond words. Iggy did not reveal it with a planned photo shoot and has shared very little about her son since then. And at number 6, Scarlett Johansson. Pregnancy rumors have been swirling around Scarlett Johansson and her husband Colin Jost since mid-2021, when she all of a sudden stopped attending promotional events. Things got even more suspicious when she did several Zoom appearances where she made sure that the camera showed her only from the shoulders up. Colin revealed the news during a stand-up set in Connecticut where he said, quote, "We're having a baby, it's exciting." Then only days later, he shared another update on Instagram. In the post, Colin wrote, quote, okay, we had a baby. His name is Cosmo. We love him very much. Privacy would be greatly appreciated. He also joked to contact his publicist Michael Che, who's of course his co-host on SNL's Weekend Update. Halfway number 5, Rooney Mara. Rooney Mara and Joaquin Phoenix are notoriously private about anything related to their personal life, and their son was no exception. The news of the birth was not actually revealed by the couple themselves. It was exposed by filmmaker Victor Hawaski during the Zurich Film Festival in September of 2020. Quote, "He just got a baby. By the way, his name was a beautiful son called River, so we could not promote Gonda now." The pair named their son River after Phoenix's late brother, who died in 1993 of an accidental drug overdose at 23 years old. One of the rare times the couple has ever spoken about their child is in an op-ed the pair wrote for People regarding the child migrant crisis. They wrote, quote, "As new parents, it's unbearable to imagine what it would feel like to have our child taken away from us for a day, let alone years. But that's the very situation those 545 children and their parents have been living through." And at number 4, Sophie Turner. Sophie and Joe Jonas kept their pregnancy under wraps the entire time and didn't announce anything until their child was born. Their daughter named Willa was born in July of 2020, and the couple was overjoyed. They've been posting throwback pictures of Sophie's bump and sharing the moments that they kept hidden for so long. However, an even crazier rumor is that Sophie might already be pregnant again. After their first child, a source told Us Weekly, quote, "Joe and Sophie are already trying to have another baby. They are really excited to expand their family. Having the baby has made them really close and want to have a large family together." Fans have speculated that Sophie might already be pregnant with baby number 2 after Joe posted a photo of her bump for Mother's Day. However, he didn't share if it was a throwback photo or not. And at number 3, Hilaria Baldwin and Alec Baldwin. Hilaria and Alec welcomed their 6th child together shortly after their 5th child was born. The family now has their hands full with 2 newborns. The pair welcomed their 6th child, daughter Maria, via surrogate, born just 5 months after Hilaria gave birth to their son, Eduardo. The family is overjoyed with happiness, but they are overcoming the challenges of having so many children under 10 years old. After the baby was announced, many wondered why the couple decided to use a surrogate. The family has not commented on that decision, but one source said, quote, "It's no one's business about a woman's right to choose how and when she expands her family." And at number 2, Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts didn't reveal her pregnancy until she was already sporting a visible bump. However, she sadly did not get to announce it on her own terms, and her mother actually spilled the beans on Instagram before Emma had the chance to announce. Her mom, Kelly Cunningham, accidentally shared it to her Instagram followers because she thought that Emma had already confirmed it because the press was speculating. Emma added, quote, "I was keeping my pregnancy pretty low-key, but unfortunately my mother has Instagram. Mothers and Instagram, it's a bad combination." Emma and her boyfriend Garrett Hedlund were first linked in March of 2019 and didn't seem to be getting too serious, but when the pregnancy came along, they were both ecstatic. And finally at number 1, Kylie Jenner. When Kylie was pregnant with her first child, the whole world was speculating if it was true or not. The birth was confirmed when Kylie posted a YouTube video chronicling her entire pregnancy to her YouTube channel. Shortly after Kylie and Travis Scott started dating, rumors started swirling that the 19-year-old was pregnant, but nothing was ever confirmed or denied by the family. After 9 months of keeping an incredibly low profile, Kylie posted a shocking video to her YouTube channel on February 4th of 2018 called "To Our Daughter." In the video, Kylie shares her pregnancy journey along with her pregnancy shower and birth. The video ends with the birth of her daughter Stormy. Her date of birth is February 1st. Around the same time, Kylie posted a statement to Instagram, writing, quote, "I understand you're used to me bringing you along on all my journeys. My pregnancy was one I chose not to do in front of the world," later thanking her family and friends for keeping the secret so well. And at number 10, Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn. Point in time, Taylor Swift was known to share her dating life pretty openly, writing about her relationships in her songs. But her latest partner was kept secret for a very long time, and the world still knows very little about their relationship. Taylor and Joe have been dating since 2016, but nobody realized it for months after. Taylor made the decision to keep the relationship private as long as possible because in the past, she would get tons of negative press about who she was dating, specifically with the media circus that followed her splits from Calvin Harris and Tom Hiddleston. Even though Taylor and Joe have been publicly dating for a few years now, their relationship is still ultra private, and it seems they spend most of their time together in each other's homes, away from the public and the spotlight. It's even been rumored that the pair are engaged, but nothing has been confirmed yet. In at number 9, Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan. These two starred alongside each other in the super steamy 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, and after making a movie like that, it's natural to think some sparks would fly. That's why the rumor started that the two had a secret relationship while the film was happening. Apparently the relationship started in 2015, and even though they denied it, the rumor mill still kept swirling. It was even rumored that Jamie's wife, Amelia Warner, was so upset with the secret relationship that it pushed her to file for a divorce. After the series wrapped, the rumors stopped, and we were never able to get to the bottom of what actually happened. However, then Dakota started dating Coldplay frontman Chris Martin. This pair dated in secret for months as well, before they announced it in January of 2018. And at number 8, Darren Criss and Mia Swire. On the set of Glee, there were many relationships that were formed. One was between Darren Criss and Mia Swire, but the pair decided to keep their relationship out of the public eye for as long as they could. They started dating 3 years before Darren even got cast on Glee, and they kept it hidden until the rumors broke out and they confirmed their relationship in 2013. Thankfully, the public attention on their relationship didn't change it, and they stayed together ever since, even getting married in 2019. And at number 7, Shay Mitchell and Matt Babel. This relationship stayed under the radar for quite a while until Shay revealed that she was pregnant and Matt was the father. Apparently the two started dating in 2017 and kept things under wraps for years. There were rumors of the pair dating, but neither ever confirmed it. But their relationship was made public in 2019 when Shay revealed that she was 6 months pregnant with their daughter. Since the birth of their daughter, they've been more open on social media. Shay even features Matt frequently on her YouTube channel and Instagram page. The pair are very serious, but Shay recently revealed that she does not think they will be getting married. She said that she loves weddings and loves attending them to celebrate the love, but she's not sure it's in the cards for her and Matt. And at number 6, Rachel Weisz and Daniel Craig. This high-powered couple is another that is incredibly secretive. According to Metro, the couple first met in college and were friends for years, but it wasn't until they starred in the 2011 movie Dream House that they started dating. Not only has the relationship been a secret, but so has the marriage. Apparently the two got married in 2011 in a secret ceremony that was attended by just 4 people. They've been quietly together ever since and even started a family together. They now share a child together that was born in 2018. The pair are so secret that they don't even attend a lot of public events together, but it works for them. Weisz told the New York Times, quote, "Daniel and I are really similar. We're just really crap at talking about our private lives." And at number 5, Margot Robbie and Tom Acklery. Margot Robbie is one of the most sought after women in the world, so it makes sense that many would wonder if she is single or not. Margot claimed to be single for quite some time. Not sure if that was for her career or just privacy, but she revealed her relationship with Tom Acklery in 2017. The couple are so private they didn't even walk a red carpet together until a year after they got married in 2016. In 2018, she gave Porter a rare quote about her relationship, saying, quote, "I'm a great advocate of doing business with your partner. Being married is actually the most fun ever. Life got way more fun somehow. I have a responsibility of being someone's wife. I want to be better." Apparently Margot even kept the relationship hidden from their friends because she didn't know how serious it was going to get, and they were friends for a long time before dating. And at number 4, Vanessa Hudgens and Josh Hutcherson. I was shook by this one because my teeny bopper self would have never believed this. Turns out that Vanessa and Josh dated sometime around 2011. Now we don't really have much info about their relationship because it was kept so hidden, but all we do know is that it did happen, and it happened while they were filming the movie Journey 2. The two met on the set of the film and hit it off from there, but their relationship was pretty short-lived. The public only found out that they'd briefly dated when the two of them were doing press for Journey 2 and someone asked how long they had been dating. But that question was made kinda awkward by the fact that they had already broken up by that point. And at number 3, Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz. These two are a power couple that not only works together, but shares a happy relationship. There have been rumors about their relationship for years, and they were eventually confirmed by Javier in 2010. While accepting the Best Actor award for Beautiful at the Cannes Film Festival, Javier spoke about Cruz publicly for the first time, saying, quote, "I share this joy with my friend, my companion, my love, Penelope. I owe you a lot and I love you so much." After this, it was revealed the couple had been dating since 2007. The couple confirmed their relationship the same year they got married, and now they share 2 kids together. In at number 2, Kit Harington and Rose Leslie. These two of course met on the set of the hit show Game of Thrones. Their characters were even love interests in the show. They met during the 2nd season and have been inseparable ever since. After seeing their chemistry together on screen, fans started suspecting that they could be more than friends, and this was confirmed when they were spotted out together. They kept their relationship pretty private for the most part, as fans really only had rumors and speculation to go off in regards to the couple. It wasn't until 2016 that the couple went public with their relationship, with Kit confirming that they fell in love while filming Game of Thrones in Iceland. The couple later got engaged in 2017, married in 2018, and they just recently welcomed their first child earlier this year in February of 2021. And finally, number 1, Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling. Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling's relationship is so secretive that Ryan never even says Eva's name when he is talking about her. He'll call her my lady or sweetheart instead. It seems that even though we all know who he's talking about, he still wants to keep it pretty low key. The two have been together since 2011 and have 2 kids together, but they still keep their relationship pretty secret. Apparently, though they are very secretive about their relationship, they are very much in love and very hands-on with their kids. Apparently, they take the time away from the spotlight to be able to grow together and give each other the space that they need to pursue what they love. Ava addressed the fact that she doesn't post her family very much, responding, quote, "As far as Ryan, I'll only post flashbacks of things that are already out there, like pictures from movies or stuff we did like that. My man and my kids are private, that's important to me."
At number 10, Kaley Cuoco and Johnny Galecki. It turns out that these 2 stars dated on and off screen, but not everybody knew about it. Big Bang Theory stars Kaley Cuoco and Johnny Galecki have had a pretty solid relationship over the years, but it turns out that not everybody knows just how close these 2 are. On an episode of Dax Shepard's podcast, Kaley spilled the beans and exposed her old relationship with her former co-star, telling the audience that she and Johnny had dated for 2 years during the show's run. Opening up about the whole thing, Kaley told Dax, quote, "We dated really early on for almost 2 years. When we did the pilot, I was crushing so hard on Galecki, but he had a girlfriend. We got together and just fell mad for each other for 2 years, but then we broke up. Luckily, Johnny and I came out of it so brilliantly, and we're closer today than we ever were." Even though Kaley and Johnny are better off as friends, it makes things a little clearer when you look at the chemistry that their characters had on screen. It's good to know that even though things didn't exactly work out romantically, they're still very close. At number 9, Ashley Benson and Cara Delevingne. For Ashley Benson and Cara Delevingne, they like to keep their private lives private, and that includes their love life, but just because they kept their romance out of the spotlight doesn't mean that fans wouldn't go looking. Since the moment people found out that they were working on a film together back in 2018, the speculation arose surrounding their potential relationship. In April 2018, the 2 were filming the movie Her Smell, and not too long afterwards, in May of that year, the relationship speculation came about after Ashley posted their first selfie together on Instagram. Following this event, fans couldn't lay off looking into their supposed relationship, though the pair never confirmed anything. These fans were certainly dedicated to sniffing out their relationship. Both Ashley and Cara went on record saying that even if they were in a relationship, they wouldn't confirm it because they'd like to keep their private lives private, but soon enough the pair was spotted kissing in public and basically confirmed all of the rumors. Finally, in June 2019, Cara confirmed that the 2 were dating and that they had moved in together, making their fans jump for joy, but unfortunately their relationship wasn't meant to last and the couple have since broken up. But I mean, they really went a while without publicly announcing their relationship, so they got to savor those moments without much scrutiny. Now, before I carry on with the video, I would like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video because it really helps us out a lot, and also, some of our friends from Most Amazing Top 10 have a brand new channel coming out called Bumblebee, and if you love strange and mysterious content, keep an eye out on August 11th when their first video goes live, so make sure to go subscribe to them now and tell them that we sent you. At number 8, Brenda Song and Macaulay Culkin. I guess you could say that for these 2, the movie Changeland changed their lives forever. But I'll take my leave. Former Disney Channel star Brenda Song and former child actor Macaulay Culkin got together after working on the film Changeland after being introduced by Seth Green, and from that point on, it's been the 2 of them against the world. Their relationship is public knowledge now, but that wasn't the case at the beginning of their relationship because they kept their personal lives to themselves. Rumors of their relationship only started swirling in 2017, but they never publicly addressed it until 2019. Between that time, when people would ask about the rumor that they were seeing each other, they would basically respond with the good old no comment response. Once they officially went public with their relationship, that's when we got to find out the juicy details regarding their pets, what they like about each other, and how in love they are. To make things even cuter, Brenda and Macaulay recently welcomed their first child in April of this year. At number 7, Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey. One of my favorite movies of all time is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, so to find out about the secret relationship that was going on the set of this movie is an extra special treat for me, and it might be for you as well. Turns out that Matthew Broderick, who played Ferris Bueller, and Jennifer Grey, who played Ferris's sister Jeannie, were actually a couple, and they were even engaged at one point. According to Jennifer, the romance started while they were filming Ferris Bueller, saying that it was a little difficult for them because their relationship was a secret. Their romance even affected their work because even though they were supposed to be playing rival siblings in the movie, always being at each other's throats, Jennifer would say that they would often break character, saying, quote, "I got the giggles so bad that they basically had to stop production. I full on couldn't get it together for anything. The producers were like, take a walk around the block, and I would, and it would start again. It was painful. The giggling was because of all the energy between us." At number 6, Vanessa Hudgens and Josh Hutcherson. Raise your hand if you didn't know that Vanessa Hudgens and Josh Hutcherson dated. Don't be shy, it's okay if you didn't know, because apparently a lot of people didn't. Turns out that Josh and Vanessa dated sometime around 2011. Now we don't have much information about their relationship because it was kept so hush-hush, but what we do know is that it happened, and then it happened while they were filming the movie Journey 2. The two met on set of the film and hit it off from there, but their relationship was pretty short-lived. The public only found out that they had briefly dated when the two of them were doing press for Journey 2 and someone asked how long they'd been dating. There's a video of the cringy revelation that they had dated and broken up already, but because I like you guys, I will spare you that agony. But if you want to go watch it on your own time, after this video of course, just don't say I didn't warn you. At number 5, Kit Harington and Rose Leslie. I think I speak for many Game of Thrones fans when I say Kit Harington and Rose Leslie's relationship had us going for a wild ride. Kit Harington and Rose Leslie met while filming the second season of Game of Thrones, and from then they haven't looked back. They're the ones who gave us the iconic you-know-nothing Jon Snow, and from that point we knew they were perfect. After seeing their chemistry together on screen, fans started suspecting that maybe there was something there that was a little bit more than friendly, and soon they were being spotted together in public and rumors started swirling of a relationship beginning to blossom between Jon Snow and Ygritte. They kept their relationship pretty private for the most part, as fans only had rumors and speculation to go off of in regards to their favorite Game of Thrones couple, which was a little annoying, but hey, what are you gonna do? It wasn't until 2016 that the couple went public with their relationship, with Kit confirming that they did fall in love while filming Game of Thrones in Iceland. The couple later got engaged in 2017, married in 2018, and they recently welcomed their first child together earlier this year in February 2021. Happily ever after. At number 4, Nina Dobrev and Ian Somerhalder. When The Vampire Diaries was still on TV, that was a weird time for all of us. At least for us angsty teens with way too many feelings. A lot of us got way too invested in the show and with the actors, so when Nina Dobrev and Ian Somerhalder started dating, it's no wonder they wanted to keep it private. These two actors reportedly started dating while working on the show in 2010, and they were able to keep it pretty much under wraps for about a year. The couple dated for 3 years, but they kept that first year completely to themselves. They were one of those couples who were able to turn their on-screen chemistry into a real relationship and remain friends after they broke up. Fans of the show were obsessed with Nina and Ian's relationships, so much so that the couple won an award for favorite on-screen chemistry. In 2012, there was a rumor circulating that they had gotten engaged, and though they denied that, fans still remained skeptical, though it didn't matter in the end since they ended up breaking up. They still remain on good terms, and apparently Nina is good friends with Ian's wife, so it all worked out in the end. At number 3, Lily Reinhart and Cole Sprouse. Sticking with the theme of teen drama actors and their fans who are way too obsessed with their personal lives, we have Riverdale stars Lily Reinhart and Cole Sprouse. From very early on in the show's run, Bughead was really what fans got excited for. Bughead, for those who don't know, is a ship name for Cole and Lily's characters, Betty and Jughead. So when Bughead became a real thing, fans were over the moon, but it took them a little while to clue in because Cole and Lily were able to keep their relationship a secret for quite a while. There was speculation that the two started dating in early 2017, but it wasn't confirmed until later that year when Lily posted a beautiful Instagram post for Cole's birthday. They never really exploited their relationship much, even after it was confirmed, and tried to keep their personal lives private. In 2018, they made their relationship red carpet official as they attended the Met Gala together, but even then the details of their relationship remained pretty minimal. In an interview, Lily said, quote, "No one knows how long we've been together, and no one will until we're ready to say it. No one knows how we fell in love except except for our close friends and us. It's really special. Sadly, for Bughead fans, they've since broken up, but their relationship will still be remembered as one of the sweetest. At number 2, Alexis Bledel and Jared Padalecki. There's nothing better than finding out some juicy secrets about one of your favorite shows years later. That's what fans of Gilmore Girls experienced when they found out that there had been a secret romance that went undetected between Alexis Bledel and Jared Padalecki. It turns out that though they were love interests on the show, their chemistry bled into real life and they had dated while filming the show. But this secret was kept until 9 years after the show ended. Nearly a decade later, and fans of the show finally get to know what was going on behind the scenes. Don't know why they kept it a secret for so long, but hey, at least it's out now. And finally, at number 1, Ross Lynch and Jazz Sinclair. Fans of the chilling adventures of Sabrina were over the moon to find out that 2 members of the show's cast were in a relationship. This revelation came 2 years after it was suspected that there was a romance brewing between Ross Lynch and Jazz Sinclair. As per usual, fans and press alike were searching for clues as to what was going on between the 2 stars, but they were pretty good at hiding their relationship. Fans only got confirmation of the relationship after they went TikTok official in 2020, after they posted a video of the 2 of them dancing together and almost sharing a kiss. Ross and Jazz remain in a relationship, and I personally hope that they never break up because they're just so cute together.